My next guest is Damian Schechter, or better known as Damian the All-Rounder. He's won bodybuilding shows, competed in Ironmans around the world, and now he helps others look and feel like athletes while living a balanced lifestyle. In this episode, Damian opens up about steroids, heartbreak, ego, identity, and how self-awareness and discipline help reshape his life. Let's go. All right, Damian, if you've got all these cool accolades, how did you get to be all these things? Like Damian the All-Rounder is your Instagram at type of thing. What was the thing to make you go like, I'm going to change from all these things? Or
right, the idea of like evolution kind of within the career space. I think to like kind of just sum it up of where I started with this was I started training with my dad when I was like 16. And he was a bodybuilder. So I grew up with this like really big, strong dude, waking up at like 5 a.m, having his oats and his creatine. And he would even drop me at school at like 6 o'clock in the morning, an hour and a half before school even opened up, so he could go and train, right?
Yeah.
I'd be sitting at the school like in the dark, just like waiting for like the security guard to arrive, you know?
Yeah.
So I grew up on bodybuilding. And then I think it was like maybe at like 16, 17, I said to my dad, I really want to start training. So I was like really thin, bro. When I went to school, I was like probably the thinnest guy there. My first girlfriend called me Twiggy. And yeah, 16, 17, got into the gym with my dad. And then it was probably about 19, 20, I started taking interest in bodybuilding and the supplements and like just wanting to get as jacked as possible. So then, I started like using gear at like 17 years old.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like went on the source pretty young.
Yeah.
So by the time I was like 20, 21, bro, like I was pretty advanced for my age in terms of bodybuilding and physique. And so then I started doing bodybuilding shows. I won my first one, and that kind of set off a chain of like 4 to 5 years of really taking it seriously, nutrition, training, stopped the drinking, cut out the friends that didn't really, contribute to that lifestyle. And then, bodybuilding kind of transitioned into, I got a lot of sponsorships. I got a lot of accolades, within the bodybuilding between, let's say, 2013 and 2016, 2017. And then I got over it. Actually, I threw in the towel. Great, that was fun. Took a lot of steroids, put a lot of like stress on the body, and then I gave it like a bit of a break. I still obviously worked as a full-time PT. I still did a lot of like fitness-based activities, but bodybuilding wasn't really like the crux of kind of like where I was at that point. Although still training like a bodybuilder, living the lifestyle. I just gave up the competing side, and I think it was more like the ego death side of things, really. It wasn't necessarily like I lost the passion for it, but it was like I didn't seek that validation anymore. I'd won the shows.
Yeah, you'd already done the thing.
I did the thing.
Yeah.
And then me and my ex-wife, we got separated probably about 4 years ago now. And this now, if we go from Cape Town, South Africa, bodybuilding, to now me living in Portugal alone with now my wife obviously having gone back to Amsterdam, I was like, okay, I need like some level of motivation again.
Yep.
So I started running. I ran a 10K. I was not a runner of my size. Then I ran a 21K, and then I was like, okay, like let's commit to doing a marathon. Never done one of those before.
Yeah, okay. Just quickly, how heavy were you back then?
I mean, like not like 100 kilo, 120 kilo. I was probably about 90. So
still heavy, but
when it's just predominantly muscle, like 90 to go and run a marathon is not necessarily, you look at like the guys that are doing pretty well in it, they're like half my size.
Yeah.
So to just try and get into that space was quite a challenge to condition myself. And then I ran my first full marathon in Portugal.
Yep.
But the day that I arrived in Portugal, I saw the big red M for Ironman. Like whenever there's an event for Ironman, they have this really big red M. And I said the next time that I'm going to be back here will be for an Ironman, not for a marathon. And so that set off now the past 3 years of Ironman training, swim, cycle, run.
Yep.
And then I did my first one in Andorra about 2.5 years ago, which is in the Pyrenees Mountains. At this point, I'd moved to Dubai, and I was doing all my training in Dubai. I moved the business there and did that whole thing. And then, I've now done 4 in the past 3 years.
How did your training change? Like, because obviously you're a big guy, you started running, like, I feel like maybe for you at that stage, it might have been like mental stimulation, like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to do all this running and stuff. Were you still training like a bodybuilder, but
including the other
like
modalities?
Like the running and the swimming and all that type of stuff. So it's like you kind of really kicked off on that hybrid athlete thing, which is like obviously booming right now. And have you kind of moved into that space, like with your coaching and all that type of stuff as well?
Yeah, for sure. There's I think the general idea of moving from one to the other, people say you can't look like that and train like this. Like, you can't still be aesthetic and, you know, have this dense amount of muscle and then go and do aerobic based training. But you totally can, dude. Like, and I think that's kind of why I started implementing it into my coaching business, is because you can you know, still get in, let's say, 2 to 3 really big strength training sessions, which are going to allow you to maintain muscle, considering you're going into endurance based work, which is a high amount of output, which is where generally if someone transitions just into endurance-based work, they start losing muscle, right? They start losing size. But if you still maintain your protein intake, your carb intake, you're keeping a caloric awareness of how much you're consuming versus how much you're burning, and then you tie in weight training to that structure, there's no reason why you can't and you shouldn't. I think most of my weight training, however, did start to mold into what do I need to focus on with my weight training to support the endurance-based goals. So that's where my weight training started to look more rear chain work, glutes, hamstrings, calves, core, hip mobility. And so that's when I started doing more yoga. I started doing more Pilates. And that's where the idea of the all-rounder kind of like started to take shape. Was, okay, the idea of to have a good body, to look, feel, and perform, go to the gym. No, like, you do need, if you want to look, feel, and perform like an athlete, you do need to do the things that help you look. You do need to do the things that help you feel and do the things that help you perform. And those are all different things, actually. In terms of the feel, you need to be doing breath work. You need to be doing mindfulness practices, because I can tell you right now, when you are in a fucking hellhole, 5 hours in, you know, and you're depleted, you're going to want that peace of mind. And you want to have been there before, you know, and then visualize that. And so, there was, I would say the past 3 years has been like a huge shift in how I do my coaching, because of obviously the triathlon.
I love that. What's like, is there something that drastically changed for you, or like something that you do every day to keep you like aligned and keep you from burning out and all that type of stuff? Because it's obviously like it's a lot of training, like, you know, all the plyometric stuff, running, like being able to do it every day. Like, I know there's a change up between, like, you know, weights every few weeks or weights every few days, and then running, like, kind of keeps you a little bit stimulated, but I feel like that might burn some people out.
It really can.
Like, I suppose that kind of goes back to the breath work and stuff. And like, but do you have morning routines, nighttime routines, or like
nothing?
Is there just something that you just say to yourself?
I don't overcomplicate it. I think like I'm all into morning routines, but like my morning routine can change. I've got a dog. I have a girlfriend. I also have calls with clients some days early. So, you know, I think to put the pressure on myself to like have this like static morning routine ritual, it sets an unrealistic expectation. I think, you know, when you and I saw each other in the sauna last week, it's like, at the end of the day, go and have that time for yourself, you know, get into the sauna, get into the jacuzzi, like have some downtime away from the phone. I think a big thing for me is, and what I recognized was actually the biggest thing that held me back in terms of my mental bandwidth and my mental energy to be able to take these things on, was what am I feeding like my brain? And the social media for me was the biggest drainer, actually. It was like waking up in the morning and going straight onto Instagram, or like having my phone on me before I go to sleep. I could feel, and I could even see it in like my body's response to like high levels of cortisol because of this tech exposure, that I downloaded something called Opal, if you've heard of Opal.
Yeah, I think I have.
Which is like it's a screen time protector, and basically every time you want to go into it, it adds another 30 seconds that you have to wait. and then it prompts you saying, just breathe in, breathe out. You don't need Instagram. Like, and so it's
good.
like, oh fuck, I have to wait a whole minute for me to go on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll rather just wait until lunchtime.
Yeah. So fuck it, I'll do it later.
So it's things like that. Just no screen time in the morning, I would say, is part of my ritual.
Yep.
Walking the dog in the morning barefoot on the beach, like no phone, not fucking around there, like just
take
having
it all
that
in,
mindfulness.
circadian rhythm, all that type of stuff.
Exactly, bro. So that's another one. Getting a liter of water in first thing in the morning, like before over and above anything, especially coffee.
Do you just kind of like down it type
just
of
down
thing?
it, bro. Just, and I put a teaspoon of salt into that as well, just for obviously sodium balance.
Yeah.
Nutrition's pretty good, bro. I don't eat unhealthy. I don't really eat out. I eat out quite a lot, but like it wouldn't be something that I wouldn't be able to make at home.
It's not like fast food or like anything fancy or anything like that. It's
like
just
the
kind of
occasional pizza or like burger, but I'm
Yeah.
also human. Like I'm not one of those coaches that say like, cut out burgers. If you just, what do you want to achieve? At the
there
end
are
of the day?
healthy burgers and healthy pizzas
Open
and
house.
like exactly. Like if you know your like your macros and know what you're going to do and you know have fats and protein at lunchtime, and because you know you want to have a pepperoni pizza for dinner or something like that, then it's like
and if you're training 20 hours a week, like that's the biggest one, is like, bro, if you're doing 2 swims, 2 cycles, 2 runs, 3 weight training sessions, 3 Pilates sessions, maybe 1 yoga, your daily step counts is at 10,000 per day. And on top of that, you're eating clean food. So like you have to eat so much more of it to be able to actually hit those macros to consolidate the amount of calories that you're burning through all of this. It's like, is a burger really going to fuck anything up? No. However, is a burger going to fuck something up if you are a client on the program who wants to dial in and drop 1% body fat per week, and you only have, let's say, 12 weeks to do that? Is going out and eating out and not tracking those calories going to make a difference to your progress?
Probably.
1000%.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think when you are on that level of athlete where you have such a set structure, it's almost impossible that 1 to 3 meals throughout your week is going to set you off. If anything, I look at it as like carb replenishment. Replenish means better performance. Better performance ultimately then needs to be rewarded with more replenishment, right? So you can use it to your advantage in some areas.
Yeah, kind of like what goes around comes around type of thing.
Exactly.
If you're doing the output, then you can do the input as well.
But if your input is always non-nutrient dense food,
Yeah.
then it just means that your performance and your output won't be great. And that's where you're going to hold yourself back. So it really just comes down to like trial, error, and experience.
Yeah, sick. I love that. So one thing, you touched on it before, I can't remember exactly what it was, but you were talking about like the moving into the hybrid athlete type of thing, and like you're obviously like still look super jacked, you're huge still. Yeah. How does it work for someone that like wants to do the hybrid athlete style, but like, say for me, I had a few injuries and stuff like that. I haven't been in the gym for years. I'm not like, I don't necessarily think that someone like myself has got enough muscle mass per se to, you know, have the nice round shoulders, and like I probably would if I lost 10% body fat or something like that. But if you want to grow muscle but also do the hybrid thing, do you have to focus on one thing or the other, or is it like, because I know a lot of people who have gone from bodybuilding, they're like jacked
that's always the baseline that people come from.
Exactly. Like, you know, someone like yourself, you've done the bodybuilding thing, you've been the huge jack dude, like you're on the juice and stuff like that, and then it's like sometimes it feels unrealistic. Like I follow a few guys on Instagram that talk about it and do it, that are in the similar area to you. They're like, bro, I used to be on like all these steroids and stuff, and it fucked me up, so I decided to go like start running and stuff. And they're the guys that have got like the big wide shoulders, big round chest, and
they're
tight
running
little
like
waist.
sub-3 marathons.
Yeah, and it's just like fucking hell. And it's just like, if I want to get to there, do I have
to go that journey?
Do I have to go that journey first and then rein it back in? Because I remember the other day when we were talking, you were like, man, I'm too heavy at the moment, like I need I need to drop some kilos before I go and do this Ironman in a few weeks. So what do you think the best way is to like approach that for people who are, you know, skinny, overweight? Like how do you find that happy medium if someone
that finish line?
like to get that shape and figure that, that all the guys want the Dorito type of looking thing.
Narrow waist, wide shoulders.
Narrow waist, wide shoulders, but still be able to run, but still have good looking leg. What's the best way for people to do that?
Great question, because it actually is, that's what I do, right, in terms of the coaching. So,
I actually didn't know that, just
the AR52 program, which I do, is like obviously a 52-week framework that
52
week, so it's, a lot of people sign up for like the 24 week, but the reason why I'm not a big fan on 24 week is because if you're coming from absolutely no experience, to get you Ironman ready in 6 months or half Ironman, like I think let's just in context of speaking of like Ironman, let's look at a 70.3, which is the half, okay, because that's more relatable, it's achievable, it's possible, and you can prep for it within a reasonable time frame. I do 52 weeks generally, because if someone's coming from no aesthetic or athletic background, there needs to be a multi-phased approach, not just with your training, but with your nutrition as well. The more intense your training gets, the more you need to supplement that with the correct nutrition protocols. And if, let's say, you're coming from poor food-focused behavior and habits, and, there are some limiting beliefs around you and your nutrition, that's not something that you can really consolidate and then take someone into an athletic approach within a 4 to 6 month period. Sometimes it takes 3 months to just break the habit of binge eating, right? And so that's where it's like, okay, well, let's give ourselves a grace period of, like, let's say 3 months. Then we focus on taking you into the next 3 months, which is then obviously a progressive phase. But then by, let's say, month 6, you should have your shit together. And that's where then all of the mishaps, the slip-ups, the self-limiting beliefs, those are all things now of the past. And now you are at baseline an athlete because of your structure, your habits, and your routines. That's when then we can start layering these modalities. But to take someone straight from like no experience to a swim, a cycle, a run, 2-way training sessions, mobility, flexibility, breath work, it's like, that's so overwhelming to the 99.9% of people out there that's why they give up if the approach is not correct. And I've made this mistake as a coach, bringing people in saying, we're going to get you ready, but then my approach was not actually right for that individual, because they had let me know, dude, I'm 30% body fat. I've got to 30% body fat because I can't navigate my weekends correctly. My support structure is not really helping me in terms of cutting out alcohol. I'm also finding it difficult to stay motivated to get into the gym. And so, when you're compiling a list of things that 99% of people are actually struggling with, right, it's very unlikely that, people are not struggling with something. That's where, before we even talk about all the fucking amazing bells and whistles, we're not even going to talk about that. We need to get you right. You got to do
all those habit stacking, and like 100%. You've got to iron out the old ones. Get to that neutral zone where they're like, okay, I can fit more in. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the goals even change at that point where they're like, actually, I got what I came for. And to be honest, I thought that this was what I wanted. It's kind of like the when people say I want a 6-pack abs. And you're like, that's great, but why? They're like, well, I want to be more confident. And it's like, okay, but is 6-pack abs going to do that for you? Or is it the process of showing up for yourself and showing up to others and putting yourself first when you haven't been? That's going to lead to that confidence, right? That when you walk in a room, you're like, I'm a hard fucking worker. Having 6-pack abs doesn't mean you're confident, bro. 99% of dudes that have got 6-pack abs are the most unhappy motherfuckers I've ever met in my entire life. Negative people that are anxious, and they've got caffeine addictions, and they're and porn addictions, and fucking doom scrolling until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Just all these crazy vices.
Exactly right. So it's like, well, does having a 6-pack really like actually give you that confidence, or is it the process to that? So just to kind of come around back to your question of like, how does the average Joe or the layman get involved in this if, let's say, they're not anywhere near that position that they could cross the finish line? The look, feel, and perform model, which is obviously something that I do with my clients in the program, is let's get you to look really good first. Like, let's get you down to a low body fat percentage, because as I was saying to you last week, for you to be 30%, 40%, and get on a bike for 6 hours, and to run a marathon and to swim a couple Ks, you could do it by level of fitness and endurance. Anyone can build that no matter what weight they're at.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be such an uncomfortable journey. Like,
your mind will break first as well most of the time.
Because
like,
you know that bro, it's a struggle. So let's get you to look good. Let's get you to a low body fat percentage. Now, that can take 12 weeks. It can take 16 weeks. In some of my clients' cases, I say, hey, listen, let's focus on doing a competition middle of next year.
Yeah.
Let's not think of 6 to 12 months, because for you to lose the 25 kilos is going to take you sustainably 3/4 of a year.
Yeah.
I get it done in a lot shorter with 99% of clients, but I want to rather set that standard to be a little bit further so we can achieve it earlier. And that
exactly.
adds a level of motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what is it? The overpromise? No.
Overpromise, underpromise, overdeliver.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So, that's where I normally focus on like the look first. Then the feel is getting your immune system right, getting your head in the game, getting you to look outside of the work that you're doing and actually go a little bit inwards as well, as to like, what are your motivations? Why do you want to do this? Why is this important to you? The feel is also going to come from doing all the hard work, is like believing in yourself and like breaking those barriers and like actually leveling the fuck up. And doing certain modalities that support that in the feel model. But then the perform is like, great, you look and you feel, it's like, that's everything that you need to now go and actually perform. Because to open the gates and throw you straight into the perform side of things, it's, if you haven't consolidated your why do you enjoy this? What are you really inherently, looking to get out of this experience? You set someone up for failure if you just give them a training and nutrition plan and expect it to go golden.
Yeah.
So there needs to be like a structured approach to it. And, how I did things in the beginning versus how I do things now as a coach. Fuck, I look back at like my early days and I'm like, wow, bro, you really needed the experience. So that's where we're at now.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I really like the 1 year approach type of thing, because if you set that expectation for people, and instead of, because everyone's looking for that huge dopamine hit, you know what I mean? Like that huge dopamine hit of like, I'm just not going to eat for a week and then exactly. Like,
retarded.
But people just want that for some reason. Like, and I suppose again, this probably doesn't help, like social media, digital age, all that type of stuff, where if we're not hooked on the reels within 3 seconds, we scroll to the next one type of thing. So it's one of those things where it's just like setting that expectation and telling people that it's going to take 12 months for you to be able to do this. I'm going to teach you all these things, and we're going to stack all these habits, and we're going to make sure that we get you to this baseline first. Here are your goals, all that type of stuff. It's really good, and it's like training for longevity instead of...
You have to, bro. I've not had one injury in 16 years.
That's fucking wild.
Bro, not a single injury. And people can say it's lucky. People can say, oh, but that's you. You don't have this, and you were lucky because you started training when you were 16. It's like, no, just train smartly. That's really it, bro. I like, from the day that I started training, even though it was an aggressive approach with bodybuilding and steroids and like, having to hit big numbers, I never had the mentality of it needs to be done by next week.
Yeah.
Or it needs to be done by next month. And it's the same thing with an Ironman, bro. Like, if you can't run 5K, don't fucking look at the 42.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to focus on, and it's so cliche, but it's like 1% better every day. And like, but the reality is like, don't focus. You're going to be so demotivated at the idea of doing a 42 if when you finish a 3K run and it was so hard you wanted to give up, you're going to be like, I'll never be able to do a 42K. Well, then set your goals realistically. Don't be too audacious. Be audacious. I think having an audacious goal gives you that motivation to actually show up. But be realistic and manage your expectations as to like kind of what are you going to get in the short term. It's like business, bro.
Yeah.
It's like anything really. It's just like, if you think that putting in a little bit of work or a small amount of time is going to give you a big return, like that's called delusion.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn the hard way from setting up clients and their expectations badly, because I was like, oh, it's possible. Yeah, we can do this. Like, great, we'll get it done in 6 months. But that's not taking into account someone dies, you get sick, you travel, you come off the bike, you lose the motivation, you start binge eating, and that sends you into a spiral of the next 3 to 4 weeks of lying to me about how things are going, but actually you're dealing with something really personal that I'm unaware of and I can't help because you're not being honest with me.
Yeah.
There's all these things that, like, from a coaching perspective that you need to consider when working with normal human beings, not machines.
Yeah.
And I just think that, like, yeah, it's really important to manage expectations no matter what journey you're going on. Is, I think, the biggest piece of advice that I can actually give to anyone who's, like, wanting to do something really awesome, because it's always possible. It's possible, dude. The reason why I wanted to really do an Ironman is I Googled it after that marathon.
Yeah.
And I watched a video on YouTube about this, like, super autistic dude, like, super fucking really sorry. That's so bad.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
You know, but he did an Ironman.
Yeah.
He did an Ironman. They modified the bike.
Yeah.
And this whole video is of him breaking barriers and breaking this, like, stigma and this belief that, like, just because you're on the spectrum that you can't do this.
Yeah.
And then I watched another movie called, I don't want to butcher it. It's called 500 meters.
Yeah.
It's either 100 meters or 500 meters. I
One
think
of
it's 500 meters.
Yeah.
And it's about this guy who, he developed cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
And basically his motivation to recover was to be able to walk his kid 500 meters to the bus stop to catch the bus to school.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the premise of this whole movie, of, like, him trying to learn to walk again, and, like, kind of, you know, he had these, like, really intense contractions that he couldn't actually write. He couldn't do anything. Couldn't show up for his wife. Couldn't show up for his kid. And so I watched, like, both of the documentary and this movie in the same time, and I was like, what the fuck excuse do I have as a willing and abled and physically strong human being? What excuse do I have? The only excuse that I would have would be something that I plant in here and plant the seed that I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because here are people that have got everything against them. And the most beautiful thing about that 500 meters movie is that it was like, there was real footage in there.
Yeah.
And you see that he comes in at, like, 17 hours and, like, 59 seconds. Like, the last second, this dude that was in a wheelchair and, like, so, like, spastic.
Yeah.
He was now running. And he was running with, like, his kids next to him. And I'm like, bro, that is the most inspiring thing I could ever see, was someone that had so much, like, just stopping them from doing something, but it was all in here that got them past that finish line.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, you know, that's also why I have, like, a little bit of a hard approach with some of my clients, where I'm like, you telling yourself that, or is that the truth?
Yeah, I think sometimes you've got to dig for that type of stuff as well. Like, everyone has it. Like, you can, I'm sure you've had bad days and stuff like that where you don't want to do stuff.
I've had bad months.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, it's one of those things where, like, someone's mental health can, like, really, really control them. Like, I've been through it myself where...
A relationship, bro.
Yeah,
anything.
Just
dude.
Absolutely anything can trigger this, like, wave of emotion that can last for however long it lasts for. It could last a year, 6 months, 2 months, 2 days a week.
Last 2 years, like, 5 years, bro. You don't know.
Yeah, you never know. And it's just like, this thing can just control you for so long. And I think there has to be a level of self-awareness for yourself. You need to recognize what's happening. And I know that a lot of people have it in their mind. Like, I've been trying to do, like, start doing content and stuff like that, right? For ages. And I've just had this limiting belief, or, like, you know, people are going to think this, people are going to think that. And I don't know, I've always been, like, a bit of a people pleaser and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, what's someone going to think of me of this? What's someone going to think of me of that? Yeah, like, realistically, no one gives a fuck. And if anyone doesn't like what you're doing or something,
not your people.
Like, they're just not your people. Like, what you put out is what you attract, type of thing. So if I'm doing good stuff and putting out good things and having good conversation with people and doing all this stuff, it's just going to come back to you in an abundance type of thing.
It's called karma, bro.
Yeah, exactly. What goes around comes around. And I cannot remember where I was going with that, but basically what I'm trying to say is the limiting beliefs that you have on yourself, if you have the self-awareness to be like, okay, this is what's happening, either go and talk to someone, or, like, if you can be like, okay, I really need to change this, and, like, actively start doing things. Like, action is the cure to your anxiety, 100%. I believe that. If you start,
and if you
don't
agree with that, it's because you're actually someone who's never taken action.
Yeah, there's an issue. If that triggers
like,
you.
If you disagree with that, then look at yourself and be like, well, have I taken action with the things that, like, I'm disappointed about or that I believe about myself? Because I can tell you now, anyone that has taken action will 100% validate that the only way to get yourself out of that fucking rut is to take the first step out.
Yeah. For sure.
Know? No one's coming to save you.
No, and that's exactly right. You got to do it all yourself. And like, as bad as that sounds, like, you can have people that, you know, say that they're going to help you and say they're going to do this, and then if they don't show up, and then your mental health worsens because you're leaning on them for something, and it's like, it could be your mum, your dad, your sister, like, whatever. It's just like, if they don't have time, or they're busy, or something's going on, and
you're disappointed.
Yeah, then you're the one that's left disappointed from that. Like, as bad as and as harsh as it is, like, you really have to do it yourself. You have to really start taking action. Like,
I thought about this yesterday with my mom. I feel like I don't rely on my mom for like anything. In terms of like finances, like I don't call my mom and like need money or anything like that. But like, it's just the fact that like she's there, that I know that I have like a safety net. Yeah. Not a financial safety net, but I just know that no matter what happens in my life, I'm okay as long as she's there. Yeah. And like, I had this like just thought of like, what's that going to be like when she's not there? Like, who am I going to lean on? You know, like, and it's quite like a sobering thought when you realize, like, even though we're sufficient in so many areas by ourselves, it's like we always still actually do lean on other people a lot for emotional support or stability, or, you know, but it's very easy. And the reason why I was thinking about this is, and I don't want to throw like my own family under the bus, but I look at like my brother, for example, who leans on her for other things. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, as much with all the love and respect, you know, it makes me think, well, what happens when she does actually like move on? Yeah. That's going to be a reason why you then say, this didn't work out, I wasn't able to do this, I can't do this, you know, like, this is the reason why I haven't taken action. Yeah, victim mentality. Victim mentality, bro. Yeah. And so that's what it is, right? It's like the loser or leader mentality. And yeah, ultimately what divides the loser from the leader mentality is the action that you take, right? Between the two. So yeah, dude, I think once again with anything, whether it's an Ironman or whether it's bodybuilding show or whether it's even just committing to playing paddle once a week, you know, it just takes you opening up the front door of your house and going and doing the thing, even if it's not easy. Bro, no one is born a runner. No one is born a professional athlete. The example I like to use is like Usain Bolt, right? The man ran for like what, fucking 9 years of his life, 6 days a week, you know, for hours every single day to go and set a world record in 9 seconds. Yeah. You know, and you have to be able to stay motivated. I hate the word. I fucking hate the word so much because it's like people rely on it and it's just not a tangible thing that you can actually point the finger at because it wasn't actually there. But to do things without instant gratification or instant reward and having the mindset of no matter what happens along the way, it will still always be okay. Yeah. And doesn't matter, whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. And I think some people don't have that mindset when it's like, oh, but what if it's not okay? That's the anxious model, right? Yeah. Like, and so they talk themselves out of ever taking action. Yeah. And I like, you know, for me, I found myself in that position for a very, very long time with bodybuilding, never wanting to do other things because I was like, oh no, but that's going to be a lot harder than me just going to the gym 3 times a week. Yeah. I totally understand. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it just goes back to taking action, really. Like, just being accountable to yourself, having the discipline to be able to do it. And like, I can preach all this stuff, but I know that I don't do it. Like yesterday or the day before, I think I like made my first like talking head reel or whatever. Right. And I did not want to do it. I woke up in the morning. I was going to go to the run club at the gym, right, and it was like 5:30 in the morning. I just laid there and I'm like, nah. Today's not the day. Today's not the day. Stop the alarm. Yeah. Went back to sleep. Woke up like 3 hours later at 8 a.m. Like, I don't even know what I had to do. Yeah. Like, I was just so lost. There was nothing on my mind. Mind you, this is yesterday as well. So like, and I just think I just sat on my phone, just scrolling TikTok, just doom scrolling, and I was like, God. And then I was like... And that's so much more uncomfortable and unenjoyable than the fucking 35 minutes that you would have sat there fucking things up, but still getting the job done. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then, like, so I made this reel, and the reel was about, I was like... Taking action. Legitimately. And I thought it actually played on my mind all day, because I made this reel, and the reel was, like...
I woke up this morning and I was just like, I can't be arsed. And then I said, tired, unmotivated, don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'd spoken to these young guys who were like, bro, just like, you got to do it. And then we went out for dinner and they were like, bro, tomorrow I want to see a reel come out tomorrow. And so they gave me accountability, and they'll like send it to us in the, like when you've done it. And I was just like, fuck. I was like, all right, I'll do it. I said to him, I'll do it. And then that's when I, woke up. I didn't want to do anything. And then the reel was basically about like, I'm going to do it anyway. Follow on the journey. I'm going to start documenting and stuff like that to try and, get a bit of a personal brand or online presence happening.
Sure.
And then after I made that reel,
it was all you, bro.
But the thing was, I went straight back onto the couch. I just laid there for like an hour.
You're like, yeah, work done for the day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's literally what I felt like. I was like, okay, I did the thing.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to do anything else. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, what are you doing? And then it took for the cleaner to come to my door and be like, oh, sorry. And I was like, fuck. I'm like,
thank God. It's like
it's like 10:30. I'm like, damn. I'm like, come in. I'm like, I've got to go to the gym or something.
Yeah.
And
go and do something, bro.
Yeah. But then the thing was, I went to the gym and then I went for a bit of a hot girl walk, did 30-minute walk just to try and get some steps in, because obviously it's and then I was like, oh, I can't be fucked. And then I went and sat out the back in late in the sun, and I literally doom scrolled for like 2 hours on the things out the back of Elite Fit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I got up, I did like a quick HIIT workout, like full body HIIT workout type of thing. And then I was like, right, what else have I got to do? Did some other stuff, went home, didn't want to go to this. I had an event last night and I was like, I don't really want to go. Then I went, and then I just met all these amazing people, had a great time.
To put yourself in that room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was just like, fuck, the start of the day I felt so shit. And then when I actually started taking action and like snapped out of it, and then like this, I think I got home at like 11 or something like that, and then woke up at 5:30 this morning and went for a run with my mates because they were like, hey, we're going for a run at 6. And I'm like, fuck, I really need to leave so I can go home and sleep. Ended up meeting all these great people, having great conversations and stuff like that. And it's just like, fucking good things happen when you start like actually taking action and doing things. And I was just like, oh, what was I doing with the first half of my day? You know what I mean?
It comes down to, I think when most people look at like any journey that they're on, they think that they need to do it alone. Right? Whereas, bro, like, I'm about to butcher the saying.
Yeah.
But if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
And yes, I didn't butcher it. That was the saying.
That was perfect. Perfect.
And, community, support, accountability. Everyone can say, I'm just not motivated. Okay, well, that's fine. You just need to be accountable.
Yeah.
And like having a run club or having like your friends that are like, dude, send me the reel tomorrow. But then you'll have someone that will say, but I just don't have those friends. Or like, well, put yourself in that fucking room. Like, you went to something social last night with a bunch of people that are probably like doing really well for themselves. And but the thing is, if they weren't in that room together, they'd also probably be talking themselves out of going in the evening or like showing up on socials or whatever it is, because like we are just human beings, bro. Like that's the bottom line. Like we all have self-limiting beliefs, we all have traumas, we all have a million reasons why we don't have to show up for ourselves, and that it's better to be complacent and doom scroll. And I think the doom scrolling, bro, is like the most common thing, no matter who you are, where you're from. It's like it's so hard to escape this like dopamine machine at the moment, and like what that does to our brains in terms of how it like triggers us to then actually be more complacent, be more isolated, not want to be socially engaging, because actually it's so much easier to just kind of like spend a bit of time on socials and catching up. We justify it as like, oh, I'm just, it's just me time. And it's like, yeah, but the me time is unhappy time, because like it's like,
actually distracting
it's fucking distracting you from like doing the thing. If you look at like some of the world's most successful people, athletes, business people, whatever, none of them are sitting there on their phones for like 6 hours a day doing fuck all.
Yeah.
None of them, bro. Like success requires you putting yourselves in a room with people that are either on the same level or doing better than you.
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way. The doom scrolling for me was something that I battled with last year. It was like I would look at my screen time, and I'm like, fucking 12 hours of screen time today.
That's wild.
Bro, I've knocked it down to like 2. Like, that for me, I was like, why am I not getting anywhere in life?
Yeah.
And it's because from the moment I wake up, Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even posting, I'm just consuming.
Yeah.
And so yeah, dude, like I think that's a big one. That I don't know where, like why I went off on that tangent, but you know, because of the accountability, the support, and the community is actually what you need to spend time doing. And I say this to a lot of my clients: how supportive is your family of this journey that you're on? Because it's not really going to help if you are committing to working with me on a coaching level, but you're going home and your family's not supporting you on this, you know, and vice versa, you know. So yeah, I think that's a really just something you reminded me of there when, you know, speaking about going and being social, having your friends holding you accountable, that, you know, if someone's listening to this podcast and they're wondering why, like, you know, they're feeling a little bit still or a little bit stagnant, look around you and who you hanging out with, you know, who are the people that you're speaking to, and, you know, ultimately, yeah, you know, if you're hanging around the wrong crowd, you'll stay there. You know, you are the sum of the people you hang around the most.
Yeah, and I say that heaps, and like I really try and be the dumbest person in the room, because if you're the dumbest person in the room, you're actually the smartest. Yeah. Like it's absolutely wild that people like. Yeah, it all goes back to that victim mindset type of thing. Like, if you're going to complain about the things that you're doing in your life and then don't do anything to fix them and then still go back to hang out. Like, I know it sucks. Like, it fucking sucks. I've been in the position before where I've realised that, like, my friends, like, they're still my friends, but the people who I thought were, like, my close friends and stuff like that might have actually been, like, holding me back a little bit, and me not realising it, but having that emotional attachment there of like, oh, they're my best friends, or I've hung out with them for 10 years, I can't not hang out with them anymore. Like, I still have to do this same thing over and over again. Like, people got to realise that your friends, if they're actually your friends, they're not going to hate you for changing. And it's, I think Alex Hormozy says it, but he'd like go to a high school reunion or something like that, and someone would come up to him and be like, bro, you've changed so much. And he's just like, yeah, sweet. Like, that's so good. I'd be scared if I hadn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, you need to be, if there's no growth and you're not changing, and you go back and see someone who...
There's nothing scarier than not growing, bro.
Staying stagnant. Like,
you know, I think if you look at like, and like love and respect to like all my mates, bro. But, you know, if you're, like, in your fucking late 30s and you're still drinking all the time and you're living for the weekends and, like, bro, you do you. Like, no, there's no judgment towards that. But, like, you know, by default of what it is, you're escaping the reality of, like, that you're living in. And, like, if the reality that you're living in is actually something that you're inherently unhappy in, you are the creator of that situation. Yeah. And, you know, for me, I just saw my friends getting older. Even though I was getting older with them, I feel younger. Yeah. I feel like I'm still in my 20s. Like, I can outlift my 21-year-old self, who was on steroids and who was, you know, in his ego of everything that he was doing. I can lift heavy, I can run faster, I can swim faster, I get much better sleep. My body feels great. I feel great, I feel empowered, and I feel strong, and I feel really ready every single day to, like, go and fucking, like, make the best out of my day. Yeah. And I just see my mates that are, you know what, like, bro, once again, respect to them, but they've been stuck in that really vicious cycle, and it's just kind of it sucks to see that, like, it always comes down to actually how bad you want it. People can make excuses for that and say it's not about how bad I want it. It's just, you know, like, now I have one kid and now I can't just leave my job, Damian. It's so much easier for you because you work online and you know, you're living in Bali, and it's like, bro, who put me here? Like, I avoided the life that you're living. I avoided that lifestyle. I avoided the excessive and regular alcohol consumption because I did it for so fucking long. Like, bro, I can tell you now, the amount of drugs that I've done have been a wonderful time in my life. But, like, I needed to move away from that because I was not growing. Yeah. And it comes down to self-awareness. If you don't think that you need to grow, if you don't think that you need to develop, if you don't think that you need to learn more, and that, you know, you can become more than where you're at, and you tell yourself the story of just, well, this is life and this is how it is and this is normal, then I don't want to be your friend. Yeah. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be in the same room as you. Once again, I won't disrespect you, but I'm on the trajectory of wanting more for myself, and I know that the people that I hang around are going to influence that in a good way or a bad way. And yeah, dude, it's just, ultimately it's one of those things of growing up, and I don't want to find myself in my 50s or in my 60s with that regret of, fuck, all that time that I was doing this, I could have done that. And like, that would have put me in such a better place right now.
Yeah.
I could have had a loving family. I could have had a much better support structure. I could have given more time, effort, and energy to a job that would have put me in a better position now. Instead of being alone, all those years just went by in a blur, and you don't understand a single thing about being present.
It's like, I'm going to use a bit of an analogy here, but like, when you're driving a car or something and it's a bit monotonous, it's just like a nice straight road or on the highway or something like that.
Easy cruise.
And then you just kind of like forget the last 10 kilometers of road and stuff like that. Like your prefrontal cortex is just like
autopilot,
just like autopilot, blah, 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 blah. That happens to people with their life. They just did the same thing over and over and over again, and like there's no growth, there's no nothing. And if you like look back on the last few years of your life and go, I don't really remember what I did. All I did was go to work, go to the pub, go to work, go to the pub, or go to work, play footy on the weekend, like do whatever.
Same shit, different day.
The same shit, different day. Again, Groundhog Day. I always talk about it, but like just the same thing over and over again. And it's just like, I'm making money to pay for my house, and
I need to make money to pay for my house next week and the week after.
And it's just like there's so much more out there. I think that like, and I've only just started discovering it now. Like I only started traveling at 30. I'm 33 now.
Right.
And it fucking blew my mind.
How
like
much is out there that you weren't aware of?
I remember coming to Bali and I was just like, oh my God, like this is so different. The people are different. How they live are different. They're also happy, but they're not in the riches and
intricacies that you're not used to.
And then like I remember my friends organised to go to Oktoberfest, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to Europe for 6 weeks, and I booked 2 days. Like I flew from Sydney to London, booked 2 days accommodation in Trafalgar Square, and that was it.
Chaos.
And I was just like, fucking, where am I going to go next? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, how do I get a train ticket and like to Paris or whatever? And I just like started figuring shit out. Like there was days that I didn't talk to people. I was walking like 40,000 steps a day because I was just so curious. I remember when I first got to London, I was like, I got on the tube or something.
Busy, bro.
I was like, what the fuck is this? Because Australia's only 100 years old, right? So like, a bit over 100 years old, whatever it is. But everything that we have is nothing. Like they've got castles and like shit that's been there forever, and like these giant statues. It's like, how did they make them? How did they get there? The stories of all these people and stuff. Everything was just like an overload. And I was like, oh my God. It just like, it fully changed my perspective on everything, like just traveling and stuff like that. And it's wild. Did traveling do the same thing for you? When did you start traveling?
I've been traveling my whole life, bro. I was very lucky as a kid. My dad loved to travel. He loved to travel to beautiful places. So, growing up, we went to Thailand, Morocco, Egypt, loads of places in Europe, Greece. Went to the UK a lot. I was very fortunate to go on like 3-4 big holidays a year with my dad and my mom.
That's sick.
And then, like I would say, when me and my ex-wife kind of split up a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, well, what am I fucking doing in Portugal alone? And then I started going to like London for a couple of days. I went to Andorra to do the Ironman there. I went to Greece. Bro, like for me, I've done a lot of time in Thailand, Bangkok, Koh Samui, and always solo traveling with a lot of these. That really for me is just completely like I have such an open perspective of the world because I've been to so many parts of the world. Dude, traveling is. If anyone's listening to this and you've not traveled, like. Literally don't go out for like 6 weekends and just take that money and book a flight to another part of the world. And
it's actually so cheap.
And there's nothing scary about it. No, there's nothing scary about traveling. Like don't go to like a war zone, but like if you go to like another tropical place, bro, like I think this is what I loved about coming here and traveling to like Southeast Asia. I spent some time in the Philippines and I'm a big foodie, so for me, I love to like eat local food. I don't see the point in like coming to Bali and going for like a fucking like
a Western burger,
KFC, like McDonald's, any of that. Like, I do enjoy a good pizza and I do enjoy a burger, but like for me, I like babi guling, I like nasi goreng,
Babi guling's
I like
actually
mee
so
goreng.
sick.
Like, I really do like local food, and I've got a lot of local friends that I eat with. So, for me, it's really like a nice experience. And when I go somewhere else, it's like, great, what have I not tried? I tried crickets a couple months ago in Thailand.
Oh,
which is
yeah,
like
I remember.
fucking, like, that was such a curveball, because I was like, oh, who'd want to eat crickets? They're like dirty, like, things,
Yeah.
Bro, the most delicious, it was like popcorn on steroids, bro. It was fucking nice, with some garlic and bay leaves, like in a wok, bro, and just unbelievable. So yeah, I mean, that's, for me, like, when you then go through that travel experience, it makes you just respect things. Like, bro, you come here, like, I come here and like, I respect it. Like, I'm like, fuck, culture is awesome.
Yeah.
Culture is really, really a great thing. And I think when you're so closed off in your 9 to 5 back home, where you're living for the weekends and you never leave your suburb and you go and do the same shit every day, it's like you're actually just doing yourself a massive disservice by not traveling and seeing how amazing the world really is.
For sure. Like, man, that was me for like 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
because I grew up like inland Australia type of thing.
In Australia?
In Horsham originally, so it's like the halfway point between Melbourne and Adelaide. So if you drive from Melbourne to Adelaide, Adelaide to Melbourne, basically the halfway point.
Middle of like bumfuck nowhere.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
and like, a few hours away from a beach type of thing. With the only kind of mountainous things that we've got near us, or a hill, is the overpass that goes over the train line, or the Grampians that are an hour away type of thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, just like super flat, basically, like, and just hot as balls, so hot. And there was camping, there was fishing, there was fall driving, like, all that cool stuff. But I never went and did anything.
Living.
Just because living for the weekend, because you just get pissed, do stuff with your mates.
Yeah.
When you have the time to, and then go home.
Yeah.
And then go back to work, like, just that same old cycle that we were talking about. And I don't know why it never appealed to me. Maybe I just never saved up enough money to think it was possible, or just I was too consumed in what I was doing.
I think it comes down to suppression at the end of the day, bro. Like, we are kind of conditioned to just staying where we are and being complacent. Like, that's just societal conditioning, bro. It's like, go study, get the job, provide for the family, and that's the cycle that, that's the Western cycle, and then put your parents in an old age home and look after them and like start a family and send them to school so that they can go and do the same shit.
Yeah,
and
white picket fence dream.
And like, I didn't grow up like that. Like, that's just not. I saw the world.
Yeah, and it's absolute blessing.
I saw how kids grew up in. I mean, bro, for me as like a 6-year-old, to travel to Morocco and to travel to Thailand and see other kids living in poverty, for example, bro, like, that already at that age starts to change how you think and how you feel when you go back home to your private school.
Yeah.
Your Jewish private school.
Yeah.
Where like every kid is being picked up in a Mercedes, and every, like, money will never be even a thing that you even need to talk or think about, because it's like, it's everywhere. And then you're this like really privileged private school kid going to like an impoverished country, and you actually just see these kids are happier than half the little brats that I go to school with.
Yeah.
So traveling for me was something that I'm going to do with my kids from day one. Like, and that'll be a big thing for me. And it goes down to something I've mentioned on a few podcasts. I say this to friends a lot. It's like, if you had like 5 hours left to live, right? Okay, well, let's like, in the greater scale of things, let's say you had 5 days to live and you had a family. Like, would you not want them to like experience, would you want them to just sit there watching you in your complacent, unhappy job, walking out the door on a Friday night so you can go get fucked? Like, that's not living, bro. Like, living is traveling, living is experiences, is new food, is getting out your comfort zone. Like, I can tell you right now, nothing feels better than like going skydiving. Nothing feels better than bungee jumping, or like getting your heart rate up, learning scuba diving and going down 30 meters for your first time, and your heart's racing, but you have to stay calm. Like, that's living. Like, the monotonous, repetitive, westernized cycle, I think is something that a lot of people say, I can't get out of because it's been so long, I don't know what else to do, I don't have money saved up, I owe money to the bank for this and this and this. But bro, that doesn't mean that you need to have lots of money or lots of time. You can just stop doing the things that are not serving you and not giving you an instant return, and you can just go for a walk on a fucking mountain or like whatever it is, you know. But you don't have to make an excuse of I don't have time, I don't have the effort, I don't have the energy, you know, I'm stuck in this I don't have time.
Yeah, stuck in this loop or like whatever it is. Like I've like,
and no disrespect as well. Like I say this with like love and respect to like anyone that's stuck in that. I'm coming at it more from like you can, and it is possible, and it just takes Googling the thing that you really want to do and seeing how you can do it and making a plan. I want to go deep sea whale diving in Tonga.
Yeah.
I want to go deep sea whale diving in Tonga. Do you know how fucking mad that is for me to go and hold the fin of a whale?
Yeah.
And swim with the whale? That's totally possible. It might take me like 2 years to save up a little bit of money in the flights and whatnot. But bro, if I put like €100 away every month, 2 months, you know, and I book off work in advance, I can do it.
Yeah, definitely. And like, you're allowed to as well. You're allowed to take holiday.
People
like,
not giving themselves the permission to go and live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like I know we've spoken a lot about, like, we've kind of like dissed the 9 to 5 a fair bit, but like I'm super fortunate to be able to be sitting here having a podcast with you and, you know, basically living in Bali and all that type of stuff. Like I'm super fortunate to be able to do that, and I'm sure that you feel the same way.
Massively, bro.
But it
wasn't always like that. That's the thing, is I evolved into this, bro. I was getting up at, people say 9 to 5, bro. As a personal trainer, I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I'm serving other people until 9 o'clock at night. Actually, 15 clients a day. Fucking 9 to 5. It's 8 hours, 9 hours. But I was doubling that every single day for like 9 years. And that wasn't a reason why I couldn't still train. It wasn't a reason why I couldn't still have my meals then prepped for me and delivered to my work.
Yeah.
It wasn't a reason why I couldn't still take some time off in my calendar a month from now and work as hard as I could until taking that time off.
Yeah.
It just comes down to like, are you inspired to have that? And is it important enough for you?
Yeah.
And is it important enough for your family as well? If you're a family man listening to this, and bro, your kids will look up to you and revere you as a god for the rest of your life if you can give them an experience that none of the other kids in their complacent lifestyles are having. Take your kids out for a fucking awesome weekend getaway somewhere close by. Just get out of that rut of like the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm just passionate about it because like I see how my dad went out of his way to provide that for me.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
that
super fortunate.
Money
and
couldn't
awesome.
buy some of the things that he did for me. It was just giving me new experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually probably one of the, like, I know you kind of have to spend money to get those experiences, but also like money can't buy the actual experience. Like you actually have to take action and go and do it.
Take a walk down onto Echo Beach or Pereira Beach and see how many locals are just sitting there watching the sun go down with their kid.
Yeah, just chilling.
Costs nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Just to be present with your family is, I think, the biggest flex that you could ever have is actually just to be present. It doesn't mean you need to have money, bro. Like you just need to say, you know what, I'm done with work for the day. Okay, close the laptop. Like just go and spend 5 minutes with them. Even if it's a stressful 5 minutes, just fucking go and be present.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I look at. Like my dad, he passed away a couple of years ago, but from like until the day he died, it was just like always, when he would look at me, he was always like fully present, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's why I'm just so passionate about also like a holistic lifestyle and like balance and, you know, big thing for me.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, like after that long spiel on life and stuff like that we just went on, like
2 white guys on a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone think we're on something having the old deep talk? Yeah. But so what's next for you? You've got, like I mentioned earlier, you've got the Pilates thing happening. You're a soon-to-be Pilates instructor?
Just started the certification a couple days ago.
Oh, nice.
And super excited for that. Really, I fell in love with Pilates a couple months ago. I've been doing it for a couple of years, but only recently I'm like, fuck, I love that. Like, I love the community aspect of it. And like, you know, it's not super high intensity, super motivating environment. It's breathing, it's flexibility, it's core engagement, it's staying staying really focused in a moment where you're like, you want to kind of just take a break. And so, I was just like, I'd love to do that. I got the opportunity to study through Train Me Education, and they're doing a workshop here in November. And so that's why I'm going to do the theory now and then do the practical in November. So hopefully by the end of November, then I'll be certified. And you know what? It's just different, bro. I've spent the past couple of years as an online coach. I've lost that. Connection, bro. Like I've stopped building physical rapport with people, and that physical energy that you get from being in a class with people that are all charging each other up. So the Pilates, that's going to happen. I don't want to speak too soon. Obviously there's a Pilates studio that's already in the pipeline. I don't know what the future holds with my business partner and my partner and our partnership as a collective to make this happen. Anything can happen at any time, but like I do trust that, whatever's meant to happen happens for me and not to me. So, I hope that we do get this space. I hope that we are able to create this dream and this vision of a really beautiful studio up in Ubud, and be leaders in the Pilates, kind of
community
area, there, which would be great. And then the next physical endeavor, the next big thing. So I do have a half Ironman coming up now in Malaysia in November. I was meant to do one next month in Italy, but I just did the costs on that, and like it's a very expensive sport. For you to travel to Italy, take your triathlon bike. I've got my bike here. You look at flights, you look at adding on the 30 kilos extra baggage. You look at like from here to Germany to Italy, do the thing, pay for, especially during summer, pay for accommodation there, take the bike with you, still paying for rent over here. It's like, bro, you know what? I just can't justify like a 7,000 euro tab. That's a whole year of like my rent almost here, to do like a 2-week stint. So I decided to pull out of that. Purely financially. Like I'm not going to pretend that I've got all this money to go and do all these like elaborate things. Like it's a very expensive sport. But there is one in Malaysia in November the 1st, and it's a 60 euro flight. I can literally fly in on the Friday and fly out on the Sunday right after the race, and it's 2 days. It's 50th of the price, and I stay in Southeast Asia, and like that's beautiful to go and experience like an Ironman and a triathlon in a tropical, beautiful destination. I just came back from Palawan in the Philippines, which is where El Nido is, where those massive, beautiful rock formations come out the water, and it's crystal clear waters. And to do an Ironman there was just like I couldn't believe that like I've got this opportunity to go and do something like fucking mind blowing, swimming in that water with another 1,000 people. Like what? Cycling along these roads that looks like you're in Jurassic Park. Like fucking insane. So there'll be one then, and then I think that'll be my last race. I haven't lost the motivation for it, but to put in 20 hours a week is not sustainable, bro. Like unless you're a paid athlete, like I don't want to spend 20 hours of my week training. I don't. Like I do this and I put a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on my body. I'm tired. Like I'm not going to be someone who's like, oh, you can do all these things and not get tired. Bro, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, bro, I look at myself in the mirror sometimes. I'm like, dude, you're draining the battery here, and you're really burning out. And you can manage the burnout, bro, but not when it's for like 4 years straight.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, bro. Especially coming off like a bodybuilding career. It's like the past like 15 years of my life, bro. Let's not be under the impression that bodybuilding is good for your body, bro. Like it's good to look good, but like I can tell you now, even though I walk away with no injuries, I'm exhausted, bro. Like I'm tired. Like I'm not scared to admit that either. It's a very, it's not a glamorous life, bro. When people are like, oh, but you eat so healthy and you train all the time, you're in the gym twice a day. I'm like, yeah, sure, but like, is that also like a part of me that's like scared to go without it?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Like, I'm also scared to go without it, which is like a big insecurity of mine. It doesn't mean that I'm thriving doing that. It means that, like, if I don't do that, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
Yeah, anxiety goes both ways as well.
Anxiety goes both ways, bro, and I'm very happy to admit that. Like, I don't know who I would be if I don't spend, like, a few hours of my day doing something, because, like, and then again, I know where it comes from, bro. It's like, well, if you don't do that, then you need to you need to be successful in something else.
Yeah.
And
It's a bit of an identity crisis.
Exactly. And
scenario,
you don't have financial education. Like, I didn't go to school and learn a whole bunch about how to manage money and build a business.
Yeah.
And so it's like, do I want to give 50-50 to both, but make sure that like I'm on top of the game on both?
Yeah.
You know, it's been a bit of a war of words in my own mind for the past like couple of years already, you know. So yeah, I think after this Ironman, like I just want to actually pull back so that I can spend a little bit more time, effort, and energy on building myself as a person and my business.
Yeah.
And then next year will be the Marathon des Sables, which will be my last really big endeavor, which is I think it's a 260 kilometer run through the Mojave Desert over 5 days.
260?
Which is a marathon a day for like 5 days. I think they've shortened it to like make it a little bit more accessible to most people.
Yeah.
But no, the original one, my understanding that I want to do is the 260 kilometer race through the desert. Yeah.
That sounds fucking insane.
It's one of the hardest races in the world.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest in the heat.
Yeah.
It's like well above 50, bro.
Yeah.
We're well above 50 there.
Do you have anything attached to that goal? Like, is it like, once I complete this, then I've achieved what I want to achieve or anything?
You know what? All of this really started after me and my ex-wife split up.
Yeah.
And it was a really hard thing for me to accept, bro, because it was like we had 15 years of being with each other.
Yeah.
And I went for that run, and I was like, that first 10K run, and I was like, no one is ever going to make my life fucking harder than I'll make it for myself. Yeah. Like, that's it. It's like, no matter how hard it gets, trust me, I'll make it a lot harder. And if I can handle how hard I make my life, anything that you do or say to me will not affect me. And it will not break me, because I've been in the fucking hole way deeper than you think you can put me in. Yeah. And like, that was it for me. So like, I did these, you know, the series of some of these Ironman events, and yeah, it was hard, but it wasn't half as hard as like the heartbreak that I fucking had to deal with. Yeah. Like
if you're comparing that, like how you felt then to the pain in your legs or whatever. I had to deal
with 6-7 hours of like being in a pain cave.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't compare to like the months of like feeling hurt. Yeah. And I wouldn't trade anything for that ever again, to feel that way. And like, I still deal with that, bro. Like, I deal with that all the time. Like, well, what the fuck happened there? Like, we got married 4 months before, and like, it was okay, and then it wasn't okay. But yeah, no one will ever put me in that hole again, bro. Like, I'll put myself in that hole every day. I'll do a fucking triathlon every day of the week if I have to make sure that like, I never ever deal with like that amount of like emotional pain that like someone else had control over influencing, you know. Yeah. And love and respect to her, bro. Like, we're on good terms. Yeah. But it was just such I lost all of my purpose when that happened, because she was the person that I worked hard for. She was the person that like, I went online and built this business so that we could get married and, you know, like have this lifestyle of traveling. And then like, when she left, it was just like, oh, I don't actually even know what I'm doing. Like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like, I had no reason. Like, when she walked out the door that day, I was just like, oh fuck, like, okay, the business means nothing to me. Yeah. Everything that I've spent like 10 hours a day building, actually, why did I waste my time doing that? And so I needed something immediately to pick me up, and that's when I started doing all of this endurance work, you know? Yeah,
that's wild. That was actually super powerful, bro. Like, I kind of like, I don't know, I feel a bit amped up by that, or like, I don't know, I'm just feeling something from you. So like,
very intense, bro.
Yeah, super intense, super power. You can hear the conviction in your voice. Yeah. So like, you know, credit to you to be able to pull yourself through that and do something.
You have to, bro. Like, you're the only one who's responsible. And as we said just now, like, no one's coming to save you. Yeah. And if you're going through that, and most people are. Yeah. This is the thing.
The silent,
everyone's going through the silent battle of like heartbreak, disappointment in others, disappointment in yourself. Yeah, just feeling let down by life. Yeah. You know, things are just not going your way. Like, that's all cool, bro. And I'm not going to ever say, you know, I'm not high and mighty saying, well, pick yourself up, you know, but like, because I'm still in that place. Yeah. A lot of the time. There's still loads of insecurities going on, which like I'm faced with every day of the week, where I'm like, oh, today wasn't a great day because like something came up that like just didn't, like I haven't grown that much, you know. Yeah. Like, But bro, like I at least acknowledge that I'm the only one who's responsible for getting myself out of whatever the fuck I'm in, because my dad's dead, my mom's gonna die, and then once that happens, I'm really fucking in this alone in terms of family.
Yeah.
And so all I have is my ability to cultivate community, cultivate purpose, cultivate making better decisions, and but once again, all of that outside of what I was born with, right, I need to create, and I need to hold myself accountable and to a higher standard, or a standard at least. You don't need to be Elon Musk, bro, but you do need to just make better decisions for yourself. I'm like, the average life expectancy now is like 70s, bro.
Yeah, like 70 something.
Bro, I'm like halfway through my fucking life.
Yeah.
Halfway through my life. And like I know that the last 10 years of my life are not going to be easy. When you're getting a little bit older, you're getting a little bit frail, you don't have those opportunities to jump, run, just travel when you want, It's just like, then I look at like, great, I've got like 15, 20 years to really like get the most out of it.
Yeah.
And no one's going to do that for me.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, unreal. So good. And it's super powerful to hear, bro. And like I said, the conviction in the voice and what you say is like motivating me type of thing, just to take a bit more ownership and like think about these things a little bit more, like even like I was talking about yesterday type of thing with the kind of like bad day that turned into a good day type of thing. It's just, if you need to be self-aware, you need to understand these things, take the like extreme ownership over your life and just get it done.
It's easier said than done.
Oh, 100%, man. It took me 4 years. I was diagnosed anxiety, depression, insomnia, couldn't sleep. When I was awake, I'd think about the past and how much of a failure I was and all this type of stuff. Then I think about the future and be like, I've got no fucking purpose. What am I doing? What am I going to do? I try to do 400 different things at once, and nothing would get done because you got your finger in so many pies. You can't eat all of them at once type of thing. And
something that really helped me get clear on all of that, and this is like a big piece of advice, bro, to like anyone that's listening to this, because like this got me to get my shit together. Jordan Peterson has something called self-authoring. And self-authoring is an activity that you log in online, and there's a series of prompted questions. But you can't move on to the next question, you can't move on to the next page without filling out the 2,000 to 5,000 words answer to that question. And so it took me about 3 weeks, and I ended up writing well over like 100,000 words, bro.
Wow.
And it goes into like, okay, what's not working? What do you want to work? What do you need to do to make that happen? What do you need to drop? What do you need to like pick up? By making these decisions, who do you need to let go of? When you let go of them, what are the repercussions of that on your life? What are the repercussions on those people? And so you have to spend time on this whole branched approach of decision making, because if you want to make a decision, I want to get healthier and fitter. Great, we've got the first goal. Okay, I want to get healthier and fitter, but now what do I need to do to achieve that? Okay, these are the steps I need to take. In order for me to take these steps, who do I need to let go of? And who do I need to bring in, right? And so I let go of all the, like it's so annoying, because like I hate the fact that I did this, but at the same time I wouldn't be where I am if I did not take the step of like letting go of like half of like my groomsmen at my wedding, like who are my mates. Yeah. Like that's so shit.
Yeah, I know.
To like emotionally write off 15 to 20 year relationships, and they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything wrong. But out of love and respect to myself, I can't move forward if every time I see you, I'm doing 2 bags of Coke.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to level up. I can't be doing that. This is not a negotiable. I can't level up if I'm acting on this behavior. Or even worse, every time I speak to you, you're complaining.
Oh,
and that was the thing, actually. Bro, I don't mind if you do drugs. I don't give a fuck. Like, bro, I'll have a bump if like like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I'm also a human being. I'm not gonna be this high and mighty. Don't ever do it. Like, like if the time is right, and we're having a fucking laugh, but I'm still gonna be up at 6 o'clock the next morning to get my shit together, and I'm not living that lifestyle all the time. Like, bro, I'm not gonna judge anyone for doing that. But if every time I speak to you on the phone and you're complaining about the same shit for the past 3 years, bro, I don't need that.
It's taxing on you as well, because you take that on then as well. Like, yeah.
And so that was very hard for me, bro. It was like having to go through this whole self-authoring exercise and looking at like, shit, I have been holding myself back. I have been. And it really was such a powerful exercise. It's time consuming, so don't think that it's a quick little fix, because you have to sit there in silence by yourself and go deep with yourself, and you can't move on to the next exercise or the next question because it's a little bit uncomfortable and you'll come back to this one later. You can't do that. It's like self-authoring was such a powerful thing. And I printed it out, bro, and it was like a solid amount of paper that I'd written. And it's good to do that every like 3 to 5 years, because I look back at what I wrote 3 years ago at a small little cafe eating cake at like 1 PM in Portugal. It's like a little Riviera. It's called Riviera. And I just said, like, I just need peace. Like, I don't need the financial anything. I don't need another accolade. I just need to like find peace, bro. Like, and I don't know what that looks like, but I do know that it's not where I am right now. And I read that back now, and like, bro, I had spoken about coming to Bali. I'd spoken about doing something that challenged me. I'd spoken about, cultivating better friendships that, didn't involve drinking drugs, alcohol, like, and I look back now and I'm like, oh, I put that into existence.
Yeah.
I put that into existence. So, when people say, oh, manifestation is just this like woo-woo thing, it's like, yeah, it is if you're dancing around a fucking fire and expecting things to like kind of just come out of nowhere. And that's totally fine. But like, at some point you do need to take some rapid accountability and be like, yeah, I'm going to forge the life that I want. And once again, like, that doesn't need to be the westernized white boy thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're struggling and you don't have a big income and you are, lower tier, whatever it is, right? It's then about talking to yourself in the position of being a small business owner. Make an impact in your community. Giving yourself purpose in some way, shape or form, It doesn't need to be the way that we see it of Dubai online coach, 6 figures, fucking wearing Louis and, going and buying a table at Atlas or Finn's and being the main dude. No one gives a fuck about that. Like, I don't care about that, at least.
No, yeah.
But, it is just about like, I think just kind of forging the life that you want. And for me, it's a simple one, bro. I've got my dog. I walk on the beach, and I get to live my life on more terms of mine than someone else's. And I think that's what I needed when my business was at 6 figures, when she had left, but bro, everything else was fucking going great, you know. And all I needed was just the simple things, and that took more work to achieve than actually building the big business and doing those things.
That was exactly right. Exactly. And like, just quickly on what you were saying before about like starting the small businesses and all that type of stuff, like a lot of today's billionaires are people who, or maybe not billionaires, but like a lot of millionaires now, or big businessmen and stuff like that, are people who have got the rubbish truck business that, like, you don't even know how much money they've got or anything like that. And you could start that by going and doing like
trash cleanups on the beach.
Yeah, like whatever. And
whatever it is.
And then you get someone to come and help you, and then you make a little business or a charity out of it or something, and then you're like, fuck, I'm going to help the world. My mission is to make the world 25% cleaner in 2 years. And then you just get this crazy vision, and you just like, you just start ascending.
But
like,
when you're not in that place of a growth mindset, someone listening to you say that is going to be like, yeah, it must be nice that you have that opportunity to be able to think like that and do like that, because I didn't go to school, so I didn't learn that, and I don't, like, I'm married with a kid, and like, immediately it's like, instead of someone listening to you and hearing you and understand and actually like, oh, that is possible. People on autopilot to immediately say, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even going to try because these are my circumstances. And so that comes down to, oh, well, it needs to just get a lot harder for you then.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to go through that kind of, like, I felt like a little bit in the last couple of weeks, that kind of silent period, like, people talk about like the monk mode type of thing, lock yourself away for 6 months. And like, I definitely don't feel like that.
I don't want to do that, bro.
But I definitely feel a bit of a lonely period, like,
for sure, in
the sense of
growth is lonely.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sometimes if you're doing it and like feeling uncomfortable, and like, you've got to feel that imposter syndrome, because I feel like if you don't feel imposter syndrome, then you're not in the right spot.
You're either doing a great job, or like, you're just so null and void to what's going on inside you, bro. Like, that's the thing. You have to just be self-aware, bro. Like, no matter how good you are, you're always going to want to do better. And imposter syndrome is just a natural feeling, bro. Like, it's fine. I feel like after 15 years of coaching, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But then I look at the results I get and I'm like, okay, well, I must be doing something right. When, like,
exactly.
I've got clients that are coming back. I'm hiring a coach, you know, and like, but self-growth, bro, is just, it's like the hardest fucking thing to come to terms with when you've got decades of conditioning that, like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, they're trying to keep you in the system. Like, you know what I mean?
Breath work? What the fuck is breath work? Why do I want to do breath work? Breath work changed my life, bro, and I you know.
You would have no idea how many people I've heard say that. Like,
changed my life, bro. That and plant medicine just.
I've only done breath work once, and I did it at a mastermind, and like we did it, and the guy that did it speaks about like your inner child and stuff like healing the inner child to become a man type of thing.
Yeah.
And his name's Ryan actually, but Ryan? So
Moresby White.
Yeah.
Buddy mine.
Yeah. He's unreal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We
awesome.
actually recorded a podcast.
Well, there you go. But yeah, he took us through like an hour or 45-minute meditation or whatever. I've never done it before. And he's just like, do this, do that. This is how you breathe, all this type of stuff. And I'm like, what's all this fucking mumbo jumbo? Yeah. And then like, I don't know, like 20 minutes in, felt
You're
like
vibrating.
I was
you're
literally
cramping. Your hands start to like.
Yes,
I
was like, tetanus. My lips were like chattering. I felt like I could feel the blood flowing through my ears, and I was just like, I literally felt like I was vibrating. I was 100% about to say that. No
you're elevating,
shit.
But you're floating above the ground.
Yeah, I was laying on a fucking tile ground, and I couldn't feel it, and I was just like I haven't. To be fair, I haven't done it since, but like I do box breathing in the in the ice bath and stuff like that. Like that's as close as I ever got to breath
like
work.
1 hour like shamanic, 2 hour shamanic breath work where you go really deep. It's like, bro, the visions that I've had. It's like no drugs that I've ever taken, or mushrooms.
It's like the most powerful drug is oxygen. Like
this is the toolkit here, bro. Like you don't need to take things like this. Healed me. Like breath work, honestly, and doing breath work with plant medicine, just like. It deepened my understanding of like just everything, bro, and it also made me realize that like none of this is really important. Nothing is really like none of the what I mean is like none of the bullshit that you endure on a daily basis is really like it doesn't exist, bro. It's just like it's all things that we create. Like we just create issues for ourselves. We create conflict. We create like, you know, whereas when you've got that inherent peace, you realize that like, okay, well, whatever's going on around me is actually not really I can let that affect me. I can let that inside, or like I can just uphold this like pillar of peace at all times, knowing that like, it's I am the creator of like my reality and how I respond, you know, and that changed a lot for me. Like that made me treat people very differently, and it made me also like put barriers and boundaries in place for my happiness and for my self-respect. So breathwork's honestly, and I know that a vast demographic of men specifically that go and drink on the weekends, and once again, no hate. Okay, let me not even say the weekend lifestyle, the 9 to 5, and then you go and get wasted with the boys.
Realistically, just general dudes, guys.
Just general dudes.
Yeah.
General dudes that love to have a laugh with the boys. You love to go and cause them a little bit of trouble, have a good laugh again. Nothing wrong with that, bro. Like you can do that whether you're sober, whether you're drunk, whatever it is, right? But if you're avoiding doing things like breathwork, and you're avoiding even wanting to have a conversation about something like your inner child, and the idea of trauma, when I say the word trauma, you think of an ER, you think of like the emergency room. You're not thinking of, oh no, your dad wasn't present while you were a kid. And that actually led to a lot of trauma that's manifesting in your behaviors as a 40-year-old man, right? If you have no idea of what that term even means, trauma, or your inner child, or breath work, and, you know, like, it's not saying that you're a bad person for not knowing these things, but the level of self-awareness that you can cultivate for yourself by addressing these things, bro, it's like that is so much more powerful than like a 6-figure paycheck. Understanding who you are will allow you to make much better life decisions than just, I'm going to go after that promotion because it's going to I don't know, give me more
Validation or
notoriety
whatever.
in the workplace.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you could actually be the highest level of yourself if you focus on self-development. And if you don't know where to start, that's also fine. I think that's a big thing, is most men don't know where to start because they think, oh, it's a very feminine thing. I don't want to get a notepad and a pen and start journaling about my feelings. That's a little bit gay, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I thought like that, bro. I thought about that for ages. Why the fuck would I want to write my feelings down?
Yeah. Yeah.
The fuck I need to
I'm
write
a
my
man,
feelings
bro.
down. I'm a man,
Like,
bro.
yeah.
But like, dude, I read my journal from like 3 years ago and I'm like, Jesus, you were a mess.
Yeah.
Fuck, you were such a mess.
It's good to see that growth too, I think.
And also to see I read my journals and I'm like, wow, actually you're in a much worse or fucking position right now. You had it actually pretty easy then.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all and then when you realize that, bro, that like growth is never always linear.
Yeah.
Growth, like, bro, sometimes you can go like 10 steps up and it's like it's all great from the top, and then like you run into a toxic relationship that like fucks your head up,
Yeah.
and now you're at 25 steps down,
Yeah.
and then it takes you twice as long just to level back to where you started, not even 10 steps up, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, and there's nothing to be scared of going on that journey, but like it's just good to document it. Journal. Anyone who's listening to this, fucking pen and paper, journal.
Journal.
All
Nice.
that shit, you know.
Well, on that, bro, like,
Yeah.
what are a couple things that just on top of journaling? What are a couple of things that you think are the best thing people can do to help themselves, be it gym, blah blah blah, mental health, whatever? What's a couple of tangible things before we close this out?
Yeah, get the journal out. Write this one. So I would say, like, if there were things that, if you could give me like a basket full of things to like make my life better,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, let's say limited to like 5 things. Like, there's like 1,000 things we can do. Infrared saunas, ice baths. We can do journaling. We can do apple cider vinegar. We
Yeah.
can fucking go and do an Ironman, whatever it is. I think having one really big goal per year to keep you in check for the whole year.
Do you
It's-
reverse engineer that as well?
Yeah.
Like break it down?
That's it. It's like, okay, I've got an Ironman in November. Great. I cannot show up to something that is so audaciously fucking difficult without doing now the next 9 months of work. I
Yeah.
have to. And I think that's number one. Is like actually define something that is actually outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I'll work towards a 10K. 10K, bro, you can fucking run a 10K with like 2 months of running experience. And you know what? If you, let's say, get to 5K and then you walk the rest, you can cross the finish line of a fucking 10K. It's not difficult. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I think people set the bar too low.
Yeah.
So I think something audacious, super audacious.
Yeah.
If it's a marathon and you don't get halfway, then great, you've done a half marathon.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah.
You know, but like park run is like a bit of a piss willy, you know, approach. So I would say one audacious goal for the year. I would definitely add a holistic element to that. I would say breath work for sure. But breath work can also come in the form of mobility work, or let's say yoga or Pilates. So I think we can bunch that up there. It's like do something that grounds you and do something that like adds stillness to your life.
Yep.
And helps you oxygenate the blood, move, you know, go through different ranges of motion, like test your body instead of this like banana-shaped computer posture that we sit in with shallow breathing, with the head, with the head tilted down, like,
Yeah.
you know, that's not how you want to end your life in that posture with poor breathing, and then you know have asphyxiation while you're fucking sleeping. So so that would be that. It's just like something that involves the breath, something that involves movement. So yeah, definitely audacious goal, movement, nutrition. Like you're only fooling yourself if you think that you can out-cheat a bad diet. You know, like that comes from getting rid of alcohol, getting rid of. I'm not someone who like really spends a lot of time on like stay away from seed oils.
Yeah.
Like stay away from fucking food that's cooked in seed oils.
Yeah.
Or vegetable oil. Like I do love a nice nasi goreng for sure, and I know that that's definitely not cooked in fucking nice Italian olive oil.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, limit it.
Yeah.
You don't need to cut it out completely, but like, bro, have it once every couple of days. You know, but to have 3 meals that are just non-nutrient dense, they're inflammatory. You know, for me, it's not about the aesthetic, but it's about what the compounding effect of having non-nutrient dense things does to your brain. And yeah, the studies are there, the facts are there, the science there, bro. I don't even need to try and convince someone of that.
No, it shouldn't.
And within that, way more fruit. way more fruit, bro. I don't like lots of veggies. I love fruit. So I replace any veggies that I would have in my diet with tons of fruit.
Yeah, right.
And Bali is a great place to have fresh fruit. So yeah, definitely audacious goal, breathwork and movement, nutrient-dense foods, cutting out the garbage, because you can't ignore that.
Yeah.
And then I think even step forward would just be water, like actually drinking. Make a conceited effort to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And then I think with that, maybe a little bit of Himalayan salts, you know, so that there is that electrolyte balance. I think so many people are underestimating the importance of actually the impact on your cognitive performance and ability to be able to stay focused when they're not looking at micronutrient value, so potassium, sodium, and even things like dietary fiber, for example, good gut health. You know, because that's, once again, everything that happens externally is a product of what's happening internally, right?
Yeah,
so if you're having breakouts, if you're looking unhealthy, if you're looking tired all the time, it's like it's a reflection of what's going on inside. It's not happening to you. It's it's in you already.
Yeah.
And then the fifth one, I've already mentioned the breathwork, yoga, mobility. And that falls in the scope of movement. I don't think I need to prescribe weight training as like as a mandatory. It should be. It should be at all. So I'm going to say, within that, then weight training also, you focus on breathing and etc.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like, let's just put the weight training and the exercise with the yoga and
lump it all in.
Lump it all there together. Yeah. Exercise, sure. Because I actually want the fifth one to be tech exposure. Limit the fuck out of that. Blue light and screens in the morning, screens in the evening, not aligning your circadian rhythm with sunrise, sunset. Like this is all stuff that's in people's control. I'm not saying anything outlandish here. Yeah. I'm not, bro. Like, these are all things that someone could literally go and change their life tomorrow morning by doing even 5% of each one of these points. I'm not saying you need to go and run a marathon. I'm saying go and book yourself in for a Pilates class where someone's going to walk you through the class. You just need to follow them. Yeah. Right? And you just need to remember to breathe. Otherwise, you'll pass out. Yeah. In terms of the goal, Google an Ironman. Yeah. It doesn't need to be an Ironman. Just Google, like, something fucking epic that you want to go do. You know what I mean? A paddle tournament. I don't know. Yeah. You can't go and win a paddle tournament without putting in 6 months of fucking work to go and win it. Yeah, to be good at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it doesn't need to be this epic thing, but it does need to be audacious and in regards to like what you're currently living at the moment. Yeah, the food, bro, just like fucking order.
Everyone knows what's good, really.
Like, don't be dumb. You know what I mean? Like, you know. Yeah. We know.
There's so much out there at the moment that's like, that when you get that KFC Zinger box delivered to your house, or like you go and pick that up on the way home from work, that you shouldn't. You should, like, it's okay,
but it's a choice. It is a choice.
Exactly, everything's a choice.
Because you're spending time on the app, right, scrolling. So you're ignoring healthy options. You're ignoring better alternatives.
And they're all in front of you.
Bro. So, like, you can sit there and bitch about how unhappy you are with your body and how unhappy you are with your energy levels, or you could take half of that energy that you're bitching about it and just say, you know what, today I'm going to try something different. It's going to be a little bit healthy, but that's the first step that I need to take in order to become the person I want to become. And that's the bottom line. You don't need to now backtrack on that. You don't need to talk yourself out of it. It's just like, okay, well, today I'm going to, fuck what my friends and family think about me now all of a sudden getting healthy. I'm just going to do it. Yeah. And, like, if they have a problem with it, then that sounds like it's a them problem, not a you problem.
Let them feel that way.
Fuck them, you know? So all of these things that I'm saying are, like, things that you can go and be actionable on, like, listening to this. Like, you literally could even be listening to this podcast and be like, fuck, I'm so hungry, what should I eat? And then you could get on your app like you do with every other meal and just, like, not order shit. Yeah. And you know what, while you're listening to this podcast, you could even just open up a separate browser and be like, epic races or cool paddle tournament near me or whatever it is. Like, these are things that take less than a second to do but require 100% commitment. Yeah. Once you open that door.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I love that, bro. Yeah. We'll close it off there because there's so much value and so much.
You and I
depth.
can talk like
I don't even know what the time is. Look, we've been talking for like an hour and a half or something.
I love that.
Like, yeah, fucking so good. It makes me feel good as well. Like, and just being in the presence of someone like you as well that's been through all this stuff, because I think people get a little bit like they might look at you and have their own perception of you.
For sure.
Or maybe not just you, but also people that might look like you as well, like the really fit people who, you know, look younger than they are. You know, all that type of stuff. Like, I get it all the time with, because I've got tats as well and stuff like that. People are like, oh, you're just
a pretty hardcore dude.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I liked the Hercules movie when I was a kid. Like, that's why I got all my tattoos. Yeah. So, and then it's just like, yeah, this hard exterior, and they expect you to be this type of person, and then you kind of like get deep with them and shit, and then it's like, oh fuck, like you're actually just a big teddy bear, like
exactly,
you know.
Bro.
So,
I've just spent the past year and a half living up in Ubud by myself, bro. Like, and it was like every morning just like going and just doing yoga, going and sitting there in silence, reading, writing, like, you know, definitely not your typical like typical dude that goes and does yoga, you know. But that's the thing is, you know, you just need to stay in your lane and do you, and not worry about what other people think, and like
it'll come eventually.
It'll come, bro. That's the thing, but it doesn't happen on its own.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, bro.
No, thank you for coming, man. It's been so sick.
For sure. We
so
need
much.
to do a round 2.
Oh, for sure.
Appreciate it, bro.
Love it.